Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Dragon's Lair. My name is Brent. Today's a video that I promised I would do probably, I don't know, months ago. This is just a recap. Well, not a recap, but this is just a video. I did a video on G.I. Joe vehicles that I added to the collection way back months ago. And I said, you're going to see a video where I just show off some G.I. Joe figures that I added to the collection, which this isn't all the ones that I've gotten, but it's a good chunk of them, I guess you could say. There is no specific on years. Some of them are vintage, 80s. Some of them are, 25th anniversary. There's a bunch of Sergeant Savage. Some of these came from yard sales. Some of them came from There and Back Again Toy Store when he was closing out. So some of these I got all the way back in July, I believe it was. So it's been a while. I do apologize, as I am not going to remember all the figures' names. Probably won't even remember half of them. But there's a lot of them here. As I don't know all the ones, especially when it gets into the 90s and stuff like that. Because I only collected till about 1990-ish when I was a kid. So, I don't remember everybody's name. But we're just going to get into this. I've got like 4 or 5 bags of figures here. And hopefully I don't mess these up. But we're going to start off with the Underwater Trooper, codename Cobra Diver. I do apologize for any glares or if it looks dark. It's always dark in my room because my wife likes it dark because of her headaches. So it's just, I've got extra lights up, but I don't know if it does it any justice. This was actually one, it was like a 25th anniversary, and I had a pile of stuff I already bought. And I was like, well, dang, that's a heck of a deal he gave me. I said, if I'd known that, I would have probably grabbed this figure too. And he says, just go grab it. And he threw it in on top, of everything I got. And I think most of the figures, these ones were from There and Back Again. Most of the figures there, gosh, he was selling them for, I don't know, probably half of what his sticker price was. So, like I said, this was a freebie that he threw in. And I don't know how I want to do this. I don't know. Then we also got, which I don't know if this is 25th anniversary. I don't know what year this is. It's 2002. But this is Mirage versus Cobra Viper. Thought that was pretty cool. I do have a few of these figures out of this line, which I haven't opened yet. Eventually I'll probably open them. I'm not opposed to opening figures unless I had like a, 1983, Cobra Commander on card or something like that. I probably wouldn't open that. Then we also got a Cobra Commander. This might have been the DG line. I don't know. But we got a Cobra Commander here. This is only a few bucks. He has like $6 on the sticker price for this. But he gave it to me for like $2 probably. Pretty dirt cheap. I know my camera ain't the best. I need a new phone, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. Then we also got, some of these are in little plastic display cases that he was selling them in. I believe this is a General Tomahawk. Got some awesome looking weapons in there. Hopefully I don't lose any of them. I mean, cool looking. Oh, see, I'm dropping them already. Awesome looking weapons with them. Which I'm not going to take every single figure out and show it off, but I believe that is General Hawk. Yeah, there's my dogs going. I got one of my dogs in here with me. Maybe I better let the other ones in. Excuse me. Come on, coming in. Sorry about that. So that's the first little bag. Try to get into some more of these. Of course, we did pick up Near Complete Lowlight. I think everybody knows Lowlight does have a file card in there. It's got a backpack and a weapon in there, but it's missing the stand for the rifle, which I believe that's his rifle. I don't know if this is the original or what. Hopefully that's original. Been a while. I do have a Lowlight, but I didn't have any of his weapons. So, some of these I just added. I was just taking everything. I have no idea who this guy is. Looks like some kind of Viper. Got a lot of gear in there with him. Pretty awesome looking guy. Like I said, I don't know all their names, but you know, pretty cool looking. He's got some big old like hand pieces that go over his hands, so that's kind of cool. I'm guessing he's some kind of viper. Pretty cool. He's definitely more modern. Of course, we do have a Storm Shadow. I actually got this as after he closed his toy store, he put everything upstairs, and he still rents the upstairs. It's like an old Mason Hall. He's up in Savona, New York. I'm not gonna say his name, but you know, he had like I said, he had a toy store up there. But I was helping him clean and organize and stuff like that because he does have a flag somewhere in storage. He's got another storage shed somewhere else. But I already traded him a bunch of stuff, and I am working on trying to get the flag. It's not complete. It's something I think I'd have fun completing it. You know, I'm in no hurry, but eventually I'll get it off him. But some of these figures came from just helping him organize and stuff like that, which these two did too. I actually found these two figures cleaning up there in a box of comic books, and it was full of like mouse poop and stuff like that. But we found a scrap iron. Definitely needs a new rubber band. I do have scrap iron, not complete, but I do have a scrap iron that's in like mint condition. Just don't have all his weapons. But we also found a sci-fi. I found some weapons in there with him too, but they're in another box. I forgot to grab those out of the box. So that was pretty cool though. Then we got this dude, whoever this dude is. I have no idea who he is. Definitely has a lot of gear in there with him, a lot of weapons, so he might be a complete figure. Probably like 25th anniversary or something like that. Or he's 90s, whatever. Another dude, this guy looks like maybe like a Cobra Ninja. I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure I need to just start taking these all out of the package. Show every figure. Maybe I'll start doing that. Pretty cool. Got some swords and stuff like that. Next up, if I can figure out how to open these, we have, this is a Sneak Peek, I believe. I think I got two of these off them. I think one was, this one, the paint job was a little rough on, but it had all the weapons, and the other one he had by itself, I think was a better paint job, so I just grabbed them both. Of course, we got I believe this is another Storm Shadow. Or modern Storm Shadow. Comes with a big old gun. Whatever the heck that thing is. Cool looking, like a little dog tag type thing or something. Pretty cool. And this is another guy, I do not know who this is. Probably complete or near complete. I have no idea what this guy's name is. Got a cool backpack with some missiles on it. Very, very cool. Whatever the heck that thing is. Oh, looks like the one leg's bent. That blows, but that's okay. We'll straighten it out. But whatever that is, pretty cool. Got a helmet in there too. I don't know if that's his weapon or what he does. I don't know what his name even is. Pretty cool nonetheless. And actually, we got two of those guys, so I think he probably just threw them in or something like that. So, pretty cool either way. Like I said, I got some of these figures off him, and then I found some more when I was helping him clean. So, you know, no Joe left behind. These are some extra ones I bought off him. I did get a Recondo, which just was complete when he gave it to me, and he actually threw in somebody did some custom paints on a couple of the weapons. So I got the original backpack and weapon with them, but then somebody had some custom ones. I don't know if you could see it, but they painted it like brown. At least I think it's custom. It kind of did a little bit more camouflage like on his backpack and rifle. Like I said, the original rifle backpack are in here too. But unless that's like a 25th anniversary or something like that, maybe it is. Kind of looks like it's custom, but I could be wrong. Who knows? I usually am wrong, so. Then we also got a vintage Dusty. Love my man Dusty. And he is near complete, I think. The only thing that was missing, I do have a bag full of weapons. The only thing that was missing was the stand for his rifle, which I think he said that sells for like $30 or something like that, 30, 40 bucks. So Not a big deal if I get that or not. We also got, he threw a tripwire in. This is like a 25th anniversary tripwire. Everybody's favorite Joe. That's what I hear. Maybe. I don't know. And we also got a junkyard. Found a couple junkyards up there, but I do have a Mutt figure. I just don't have all his weapons. And we also got a Snow Serpent. I think one of everybody's favorite. I have always loved Snow Serpent. I love all the Cobra like soldiers and stuff like that. Which I did get most of his weapons here. I don't know, you probably can't see them. The only thing I'm missing to the Snow Serpent is his snowshoes. If I get his snowshoes, he will be complete, so that will be pretty cool. Sorry, I had a cold just a few weeks ago. And I don't feel like I'm getting the cold again, but man, my mouth's running dry for some reason. On to the next bag. Of course, we do have a vehicle in here. This is the little, like, surfboard. There's some extra stuff in there, but it's a surfboard. Like the little paraglide type thing. It's not a paraglide, but it's like a sailing mast and all. Whatever. I don't even know what you call that vehicle. I had it as a kid. I think it was like a mail-away or something like that. But, so some of these figures came from cleaning. Finding them cleaning. So this is a Sergeant Stalker, or modern Sergeant Stalker. This is, I don't know what, there's a little note in here with it. 2002 version 2. My man Stalker. I've always liked Stalker. I've always liked the guys. I love watching like Vietnam movies as a kid and like Tour of Duty as a kid. So I always liked the guys that were like Vietnam looking like dudes. So I always liked Stalker and Recondo. Always loved them as a kid. Not my favorite Joes, is Flint will always be my favorite G.I. Joe. So, next up we got a Blowtorch 2002. Pretty cool. I know a lot of people don't like these 25th anniversary and stuff like that. Or 30th, whatever they are. But, man, some of these figures just look so much better. Not 100%, but some of them just look so cool. It's like the colors snap on them. It's crazy. I'm sure somebody will be like, man, you're wrong. Probably. I probably am wrong. I like it all, so no complaints here. Of course, we did get good old Globulus. The weirdest G.I. Joe figure ever. I never cared for this figure because, you know, you can't do much with them. Of course, I see people making like custom like pods to put them in, which I think would be so much better. I'm going to get rid of this plastic case because I don't need it. Next up, I can't remember this dude's name. I think it's like Quick Draw or something like that. I actually got 2 of them. Hopefully I'm not getting sick again. So I got this one off him, and then when I was up cleaning, we found another one. So I said, hey, throw them in the box. And I ended up getting them. Which this one in this package was near complete, I believe. And the piece that was missing is on this one, so I believe he is, or the piece is, because he's got his shield to his helmet and the little detonator for his missiles. So I want to say he's complete now. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure his name was Quick Draw or something like that. I think my friend Kevin, if you're watching this, I think you had it. I think that's one of the figures you had. Next up we have, looks like another Cobra Ninja. Probably part of the Arashikage clan, something like that. Got a whole bunch of swords and weapons in here with him. I don't know if you can see all the weapons. I don't want to take all the weapons out of these baggies because I'm afraid I'll drop them and lose them, and you know how that goes. Next up we got another Ninja. Not sure if this is a Joe or a Cobra. Looks like he's got a Cobra on his head. I know in like the 90s they went crazy with ninjas, but you can go watch like Destro's My Spirit Animal or whatever. He covers all that. Ninjas. Next up we got a 25th anniversary, I believe it is, or 30th, whatever. Cobra Commander. Which I don't know. I like the masked Cobra Commanders, but I think the hooded Cobra Commander is probably my favorite overall. But found that cleaning. Organizing up there for him. Next up is a bag. I don't think it's got all his weapons in there. I believe it's got weapons in here, but it's also got like a Cobra chest plate and helmet, which I believe is like a version of Copperhead. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it is this guy's, but this says this is Sergeant Airborne with a file card here. So there's a little file card in there. Sorry if I got a little close there. It is bent. I'm sure you can't read it. Like I said, I don't know. It's kind of weird because it's got like a rifle and a backpack, but then it's also got this helmet and chest plate. Kind of looks like Copperhead's, you know, helmet, maybe chest plate. So I don't know. As soon as I go get a house here, which hopefully will happen this coming summer, I'm really hoping. Hopefully I can start setting stuff up and doing videos showing it, all the stuff set up. Of course, this is a different version of Destro, more modern version. Not sure what year it is, probably 25th anniversary, 30th anniversary, whatever. Definitely does have all his weapons in there. But I do not want to lose these weapons, so I'm not going to take all these guys out. I will keep them in the cases. Here we got some kind of Viper, looks like. Have no idea what version, what year it is. And then we got another, I have no idea who this dude is. I don't know most of these guys' names, especially when we get into the 90s and 2000s. And I am terrible at opening these freaking cases up. Boy, oh boy. It's got a big old snake with him. Snake and a weapon, so I don't know who this guy is. But like I said, he's got a big old like snake, like looks like just like a snake on the ground. Pretty generic looking, but that's G.I. Joe for you. Some of their stuff is generic looking, especially their dinosaur. That's worth like $150. Of course, this is Cobra Commander. I'm not going to take this one out. This is from the movie, I believe they did, Rise of Cobra 2009, which a lot of people don't seem to like. Here's another version of that Cobra Commander. I like those movies. A lot of people didn't. Here's that sneak peek I just showed off. I believe it was sneak peek, which has a better paint job than the one that had all of the gear. Everybody loves sneak peek because, you know, he makes sense. Trench warfare, I guess. Next up, some of these guys I don't think I got off of there and back again. So this has actually a stand with it, which I think it's probably missing a weapon, but this is a version of Snake Eyes. I know it's dark in here. I apologize for that, but no matter what I do, I try to put lighting up here. I got a light right here, but it just doesn't do the doesn't give me the desired effect that I want. Almost under this bag here. We're getting near the end here. So this is another version of Blowtorch. Looks a lot bigger than the other figures, so I don't know. But just got a cool looking axe. Cool little backpacks. Like I said, some of the details on some of these, it's just, you know, they put a little. It seems like they put a little bit more effort into it. Which this looks near complete. It looks like it's missing like maybe the hose or something. So, is what it is. We can get hoses, I guess. Of course, these three, no, wait, we'll do this one here first. So this looks like a Televiper. I got this one off there and back again too. All these ones in these plastic cases came from him. Which this looks like a Televiper. Got a lot of small little pieces in there. But looks like a Televiper, like a modern Televiper. Definitely Cobras. He has an awesome Cobra belt buckle. You probably can't see it. He's got the Cobra on his head. But pretty cool. I definitely need to get a better phone. Hopefully that's in the works here. So I'm trying to, but next up we got a 1985 Footloose, missing his helmet. I picked these up at a flea market. Of course, whatever price he had on there wasn't the actual price. This said 15, but he gave it to me for actually cheaper than that. Everything was like 40% off. And then we also got a Ripper. Not sure what year that Ripper is. It's vintage. I don't know what year Ripper came out. Probably 84, 85, somewhere in there. 86 maybe. But very, very cool. Ripper is one of the ones I don't think I had as a kid. To be honest with you. I want to say I had Torch and I had Buzzer as a kid. But I don't honestly remember if I had Ripper. I had a lot of the G.I. Joes. I probably had 50 to 60% of the Joes and Joe figures back in the 90s, or 80s rather. I didn't have like I never got the Terrordrome. I never got the Defiant. I never got the G.I. Joe Fortress or even the Cardboard Cobra Fortress. But I did have like the Flag, and I had almost every single vehicle there was other than that. Not all of them, but most of them. So I probably had a good 60% of the vehicles and figures back in the day from the 80s. But I don't have them now. Wish I did. Next up we have a Sub-Zero. I do not remember Sub-Zero at all. Winter Operations Specialist, which I do believe he was complete. You know, had all his gear was in here. It had a $30 price tag, but like I said, everything was 40 to 50% off. Because he's like, I gotta move stock, man. And this was at a flea market, and this guy has, you know, comic books, toys, baseball cards, everything like that. So he was just trying to move stuff. Oh man, so I got 2 more bags here left. Yep, this is a long video. I do have some other G.I. Joe figures that I got, but you're not going to see them in here. So next up, these are yard sale scores here, most of them. So this is the, I think, Valor versus Venom figures. This one's shrunk wrapped. We're going to open it. So some of these came from a yard sale where he had everything shrunk wrapped. Had his own shrink wrapper, and he was like a, same as me, he'd just go thrifting and yard sailing and stuff like that, and he'd find stuff cheap and then try to resell it. But I'm not like a reseller, so I'm more of a collector. Which this, I believe, is, I want to say it's Duke. Not sure who that is. Doesn't have any other gear or anything like that, but cool nonetheless. They are G.I. Joe, so it is pretty cool. Of course, I do have this little baggie of Joes I got last summer. This was my yard sale score last summer, which I replaced, you know, rubber bands on them. I don't remember who this is, but this was a $1 yard sale score for this whole bag. All the rubber bands were broke. Of course, like I said, $1. We got a Cobra Commander there. We got a Flash. So this is the 83 version. This is a swivel arm version. We got, I don't remember who this is. I had looked them all up back when I was doing the video. We got a, I believe this is Zaymot. $1 for the whole bag. We got a Wild Bill. I know my camera's not doing it justice. We have, this is the first year of, I believe it's Grunt. Both his thumbs are broke. We got a Bazooka, missing his crotch out of that deal. Then we also got my man Flint. Not the best paint job on him, and you know, he was definitely played with. But like I said, that little baggie there was $1. I did like a short on it back last summer. You know, $1 fine. Now this figure, I'm not sure if it's G.I. Joe. I kind of did a Google lens, and it said it was, which her legs are loose. It said it was Scarlet. It almost looks like Black Widow from Avengers, but when I did Google lens, it said it was Scarlet from the movie, so I'm not really sure. It said her legs are loose. So these are at that yard sale I just said with the guy with the shrink wrap and stuff. We're going to open all these. Which I think these are all G.I. Joes. If If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I have no idea who it is. Like I said, he shrunk wrapped me and put G.I. Joe sticker on there. Oh, man. Should open all these. We'll get them open now. This kind of looks like Beachhead, to be honest with you. Definitely he's loose. Definitely loose. Well, we'll hold him like that. Looks like a Beachhead. Not sure. Of course, this one he actually put a piece of cardboard in with it. It said 2009 Rise of Cobra. This is probably from the movie, which when I started collecting again, it was just a few years ago. I started collecting G.I. Joes again. So I haven't been recollecting very long. You know, I found some at like Goodwill and stuff like that. No, I bought them. I thought they were cool. Must be all these figures, their legs were loose or something like that, because, man, even his legs are like super loose. I don't know. Either that or he's well played with, but this is Storm Shadow, Mr. Arashikage himself. So, definitely got some loose legs there. Boy, oh boy. I have to grab a knife here. So this looks more like 25th anniversary or something like that, maybe. Pretty cool. Don't know who it is. He had some Soldier Force figures there too, which I didn't know what Soldier Force was. And this one he had in there. I got looking at it. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is G.I. Joe. So I grabbed it. This looks more like it's a Duke or a Hawk or something. But he had Action Force on the little baggie. But we picked that up too. I'm pretty sure it's a Duke or a Hawk. Looks more like it is. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Of course, this is some Cobra guy. I have no idea who. It's hard to tell with some of these like version 2s and stuff like that. Of course, this kind of looks like Spirit. Almost looks like, sorry, my dogs are barking. Almost looks like Billy from The Predator. Billy Spooked. That's Miss Riley out in the kitchen barking. I've only got 2 of my dogs in here right now, so have no idea who this dude is. Got a Cobra like jacket on. Pretty cool looking figure though. Of course, we do have a, boy oh boy, I don't want to sit and spend the whole time opening the figures. Of course, we do have a vintage buzzer. I'm going to leave him right on that little backing for right now. Backboard. Oh boy. It's cool that he shrunk wrapped them, you know, that way, you know, they weren't getting mishandled and stuff like that, but I have no idea who that is. Maybe it's a Cobra Commander, I'm not really sure. Weird looking guy. And then we got one more vintage, 1986. That's what he's got on here. I don't remember what year Iceberg came out. Probably 86, so. Man, I should have grabbed a knife. And I think at this yard sale where I got these, I think he wanted like $2 a piece for like the Iceberg and the Buzzer. I think they were the only vintage ones he had there. And all the other figures, I mean, I think I paid like $6 for all these ones he had shrunk wrapped, $6-7. He's like, I just want to move stuff, and he ended up being a guy that went to school with my brother. So kind of cool, and he knew my sister and stuff like that. He didn't know me because, you know, I was 8 years later. But, you know, he gave me a heck of a deal on a lot of stuff there, which I got tons more toys I got off him. This is all back in, who knows, July, August, whenever it was. Maybe even June. But, he gave me quite a deal. I got a lot of stuff I got to do video on sitting up here. But anyways, back to these last batch of figures. This will be it for this video. It's been a long video, actually. But these are all Sergeant Savage. I believe it was Sergeant Savage line. I want to say that's what it is. So, don't know if you can see him or not. It's like in a double protection here. Kind of weird. But I believe it's, I want to say Sergeant Savage. I could be wrong. But these were a line that came out, I believe, in the mid-90s. So basically he was kind of, I hope it's Sergeant Savage. I could be wrong on that. I might have to look that up. But he was kind of like Captain America, where he was cryogenically frozen. All his guys are like World War II soldiers, and they had, you know, the enemy were all like World War II soldiers, you know, and stuff like that. So a lot of people probably didn't like this line, but if you like the Captain America stuff, you know when he's fighting like Red Skull and Nazi Germany and stuff like that, then you'd probably like this line. Like I said, I don't know most of these guys' names. I didn't even know what it was till I came across a VHS tape of it back at a backyard sale with my son. So I bought that VHS tape and watched it, and I was like, well, dang, that's pretty cool. You know, he's kind of like a Sergeant Slaughter, basically, but he's from World War II. So, which I believe I have this guy carded. I have one of these guys carded that I got at a yard sale for like $5. Card was beat up, but you know, it was cool. I got it hanging on the wall out here. Of course, I'm guessing this is one of the bad guys. I don't remember the bad guys' names. He almost looks like he's Russian or something. Which I don't know. I can't remember if they fought the Russians in Sergeant Savage or if it was the Nazis. I honestly don't remember. I do believe they had a few vehicles too, which there are weapons. These have most of the weapons. I took almost every Sergeant Savage figure he had, and he like, I don't know what that thing is. He like gave them to me for like $4 a piece or something like that. He says, we just grabbed them all, duplicates and all, and he's like, yeah, like $4 a piece if you take them all or something like that. It was a good deal, I thought. For figures with their weapons, I'm not going to complain. I don't want to mix these up. At least most of them had weapons. You know, this one doesn't have any weapons, but some of these are duplicates, which is okay. It's not a big deal to me. But they definitely came with a lot of weapons. This guy's got like a big old like grappling hook on his backpack. It's like just crazy insane. It's even got a thing of the face paint. Looks like it's a little bit dried up in there, but I remember that face paint came out with the regular Joes. I remember me and my friend, my buddy Ryan, he was like a little brother to me. I remember we put it on and went down to the woods and played G.I. Joe. Down to just a few figures left, and that'll be it for my haul. Not sure that dude's name. Again, sorry for the lighting in here. Not the best, but we're making do. So this is Duke, I believe. Was he part of the Sergeant Savage line? Yes, I think it's Duke. It's got a tag in here. This might not be Sergeant Savage here. I don't know. I thought they were all Sergeant Savage. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. I never claim to be right on everything. Which I think I just showed this guy off. We'll show him off again. But that is it for basically my recent hauls for G.I. Joe figures over the last 6-7 months or whatever. And like I said, a lot of these came from There and Back Again Toy Store, which closed. I think he's still selling online. He hasn't like quit collecting and stuff like that, but he does still sell online. He just wasn't feasible to keep a shop open because 90% of his sales are selling on eBay, which I get. It makes sense, but like I said, between yard selling and that's what all these figures came from. You know, sorry if I mixed any names up or whatever years they were. I'm not like the best person at, you know, remembering all this stuff. Like I said, I have just recently in the last couple of years gotten back into collecting G.I. Joes and stuff like that. I probably collect more comics. I actually collect more CDs than anything, as I love listening to music. But this is just another venture I've gone down in, collecting toys, comics, CDs, movies, stuff like that. But I hope you guys liked what you saw. Go ahead and correct me on anything I got wrong or whatever. Like, comment, subscribe. It's all cool. It's all good. Thanks for watching, guys.